There's a lot of things we can definitely say are the most German things ever, but let's go lob that into the bigger pool of what is the most European thing ever. We're gonna start off by reading the first comment on here. Having a castle in your town. That's pretty much every German town ever. Having a castle. I'm also joined here with a good friend of mine, Killian, in the chat. What's up, dude?
What's up?
Not much, living life, going to another country just to go shopping. Okay. So this is actually crazy right here because you've told me Germany's surrounded by a lot of other countries and stuff like that. So it'd be like being in the United States and going to another state. It'd be like the United States is basically the size of Europe. Or Europe's the size of Texas. But if you're in Germany, you're like, I would really like some good ass chocolate. Let's go to Switzerland. Do you know how crazy that sounds to an American? Like, we're gonna go to France on Monday, and then Switzerland on Tuesday, and then the Netherlands on Wednesday. Bro, how? You must be rich. But in actuality, they're all relatively close.
It's just like a 5-minute walk.
Yeah, pretty much. Boom. So one of the big differences is the way from villages to big cities are laid out. They all have numerous squares or public gathering places. You can enjoy a drink, music, people watching. You don't have to drive hardly anywhere. Local pubs are around. I've always wondered how so many Europeans can make do with those tiny fridges. But then I realized they shop fresh all the time. There are so many butchers or bakers, produce stands, cheese, deli, flower shops within the walking distance. They shop local and fresh all the time without a car. Now, car culture in America is huge. You can't really get anywhere without a car unless you're in Chicago, New York, or Los Angeles.
There's barely sidewalks. And like, unless it's like a major city like New York.
Exactly. Like I was like Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, you'll have sidewalks there. But aside from that, it's pretty much you're gonna be empty, behind a wheel, driving everywhere. But that's also why I was saying, like, it's easy to gain weight when you're always sitting, you know, when you're sedentary. So I was telling my wife this, we were both talking, we're like, dude, it's way better, like in general, right? Like as far as health lifestyle goes, to be here in Korea, for instance, because almost everywhere in Korea is walking distance from the next thing. Before somebody cracks an ignorant ass joke, we're in South Korea, obviously. Anyways, so we walk all over the place, right? I'll put it this way. The grocery store, the supermarket, is a minute and 30 seconds from where I'm currently sitting right now. It's a minute and 30-second walk. I can leave my building, walk to the supermarket in a minute and 30 seconds, and, you know, shop around and be back within a half an hour. Crazy, right? That's walking, because it would be it'd be inconvenient to get a car to drive that short of a distance, but it would make much more sense to walk. So you're burning calories, you're being active, you're outside with the elements. It's cool. Anyways, my uncle lived in a big condo over there in a row housing area. Every Saturday, mobile butchers, bakers, fruits, and produce would set up outside for a few hours and then move on. Everything is fresh and local and absolutely delicious. And once again, no car is needed. That right there is something that I value. In a perfect world for me, I would live in an environment that requires me to not have a car, because I could just walk everywhere. Like this place, you don't need a car. There's public transportation. I feel like that is severely undervalued.
And you don't even need that.
Yeah, you don't. You can literally just walk. I mean, it depends on how far the walk is. Like, if I'm trying to...
Depends on where you want to go.
Well, yeah, if it's an hour and a half away by car, then yeah, you're going to have to take the train, you know, obviously. But
yeah, but if it's... As long as it's in a range of 30-minute walk, I'm taking it.
Yeah, trains that are clean, trains that go where you want them to go, and trains that are affordable. Now, this is very interesting. So in the United States, let me tell you this. If you're not in Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, which, by the way, the trains are still expensive. The trains are going to be 5 times as expensive if you take a train anywhere else. Amtrak, oh my gosh, they'll bend you over and give it to you. And you'll be like, damn, I have no money. They'll make you pay after they're done. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, going to war on 2 fronts. Wow, Germany. Wow, Germany. That's crazy. What's the most European thing and literally going to war on 2 fronts? Germany had an eastern and a western front. Oh, we managed to go to war on much more than just 2 fronts. That's crazy. The western front was first, right? And then it was the eastern front for World War II. The western front happened in World War I, and y'all got clapped. And then the World War II happened. It's like, well, if you at first don't succeed. The next one is Eurovision. That is the most European thing ever. Have you seen what Eurovision looks like? Cringe moment. All right, that's it. Belarus 2016, that's all you needed to see. I saw a commercial for Windows in Germany. They had a topless woman get out of bed and walk to her new window. It was while I was watching Bugs Bunny. That's based. See, Germany don't care, bro. Like while
I was watching Bugs Bunny.
It was a commercial for Windows and milk, actually. So he was, maybe it was recommended to him on his television because he was watching Bugs Bunny, and they're like, we probably need a glass of milk. So obviously showed off the Milkies, and then also some Windows. I am German and never saw that ad. Basically implying that he would like this original poster to send him the link.
Yeah, he wants to watch it.
It's like, can we verify that that's true really quick? I will also need a donation of some tissues and lotion. Walkable cities. This is very common in Europe, not very common in America for 3 reasons, right? Obviously, we beat the car point into the ground. Obviously, most cities in America are not designed to just walk around like that. Unfortunately, I grew up in Chicago, so you can walk around all over Chicago. Well, this brings into my second point, right? Safety. Most cities are not safe. So yeah, you can walk around, but just be very aware of your surroundings because people will rob you. People will try to beat you up, all kinds of wild stuff at the most random times. It's not like you have to always be on alert, but when you drop your guard is when you're most likely going to find yourself in a situation like that. And then the things I haven't mentioned. I could get into the other stuff, but I think it's self-explanatory. If you've ever been to America or if you've seen the news in the last couple of days, then you probably understand why walkable cities in America is less and less of a thing. Walking or riding a bike everywhere because who needs a car? Once again, they're beating this car point into the ground. We get it. We do not need cars. All right. I don't want a car, but I have a car. Dude, cars are liabilities. It'd be crazy if all we had to do is pay for a car, pay it off, that's good, whatever, and that's it. But no, we have liabilities. We have the car breaks down, you have to pay for maintenance. You have to pay for insurance on the dang thing. You have to make sure it's registered, and that costs money. So it constantly eats chunks away at your bank account. Now, what's interesting is a lot of people that make a lot of money have this preconceived notion that they have to buy a beautiful ass car, but they don't think about how much the maintenance costs. You're not just paying for the car when you pay for the car.
You're paying for the fact that
you're paying for the future because it's gonna. I'll put it this way, right? You buy a 6-figure car, but it costs 7 figures worth of maintenance. Do you think that's worth it to you? The most European thing ever is the quaint and charming cobblestone streets that wind through medieval cities, flanked by towering cathedrals and quaint cafes serving espresso and croissants. This right here is the most vividly accurate description of a typical European city that I've ever read in this entire comment section. This owns the comment section right now. It's picturesque vineyards of Tuscany, the romantic waterways of Venice, and the timeless elegance of Parisian boulevards. It's the sizzling aroma of fresh bratwurst wafting through the air at a bustling German Christmas market, the infectious energy of a Spanish fiesta, and the hauntingly beautiful strains of a traditional Irish ballad. The most European thing ever is the rich tapestry of cultures, cuisines, and landscapes that make up this diverse and endlessly fascinating content. All right, Edgar Allan Poe, we didn't ask for all that, but this is very, very, very insightful and very descriptive and incredibly accurate. Whenever I think of Europe, this is what I think. This is what I think. Closed stores on Sundays. See, this is what we don't like about Europe. Closed stores on Sundays.
Okay, but it has a good reason. They're closed on Sundays because it's supposed to be a resting day. It's a church thing.
Oh, so y'all forced to be Christian. That's crazy.
Because on Sundays, I think people, I don't know, I'm an atheist. I think people go to church and pray. So it's supposed to be a resting day. They can pray. They can relax for a day.
Yo. The most European thing ever, this has got to be like up there too, hating our neighboring countries. Look, as a Ukrainian, yes. Based. That's hilarious. Men unapologetically dressing super stylish. See, we don't do that over here in America. I like to wear casual stuff. You'll see me outside in pajamas, right? I'll wear like pajama bottoms with like a business casual top sometimes. Or you'll see me wear this ridiculous headband with a nice uniform. Let me give you an example. I went to a steak restaurant with my beautiful wife, right? And I had a nice outfit on. I had some like khakis, some dress shoes, a button-down shirt, and a Naruto headband. So like everybody was looking at me and I walked in the restaurant because obviously everybody up there is like high class, like, you know, they're, you know, bish posh. And then they look at my wife is really dressed up. She's beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, and then literally like they look at me and they're like, what is this man doing? Cigarettes with a coffee. This is nasty. Also, I'm going to shut down all these comments right now with the most European thing I had to unfortunately experience in high school. Now, are you guys ready for this? Spliffs. Those are the nastiest things on the planet, and y'all invented that shit. All of you watching this invented that shit. It should be ashamed. That is disgusting. It's marijuana and tobacco in the same blunt. And that's enough internet for today.